in the packet last meeting. So our next date is going to be May 22nd, 2025 at 2 p.m. Originally it was here, but that is going to be moved to our Public Works facility at 120 Shanklin as they do the renovations here. Our next meeting is July 24th, 2025.
Are you gonna send out a packet like this? Or
Yes,
what?
sir. Yep, we'll remind you, we'll send out our packet and everything for these upcoming meetings. We just
Okay.
need to vote and approve the next meetings slated for 2025. And Miss Sally, are we gonna be back here by July? When's the date?
It's to be determined.
Okay, so we'll just say that
Public
after
Works.
this meeting, the next meetings will be at Public Works, 120 Shanklin. So we've got May 22nd, July 24th, September 25th, and December 18th, all at 2 p.m., 120 Shanklin. And of course, as always, Miss Sally will send y'all out your board packets, your reminders of the time, location, and dates.
I make a motion that we approve the meeting schedule for the remainder of 2025.
Aye.
Aye.
Got your notes? Okay. We also need to approve our meeting minutes for the dates of November 21st and January 31st. They should be in your board packet. We didn't have a quorum for those dates, so that's why we're voting now.
I can't make a motion because I was not here. I can make the motion, but I can't vote because I was not here for November 21st, 2024.
It's the approval of the minutes,
I know.
and you are a quorum, part of our quorum now, so maybe those won't be.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes for November 21st, 2024 and January 31st, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Now, this part, we all gonna have to say yea or nay. So if we don't, if, it's like, anything else, you know, if you bear with me, cause, if there's a majority, the majority rules, but we can't sit here and go, okay, one person said, okay, and we just go like bump on the law. We gotta, what's 1, 2, 3, 4?
No, you're the
there's
only
only
voting
three
members.
There's only three.
You, me, and Sally, the only ones that can vote here. 3 of us. Now,
Now,
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
the
for now.
only
We
3
gotta
voting
vote. For
members.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now,
because Mr. Bennett is an ex officio, correct? And Mr. Woods is a liaison.
Liaison.
So there's only 3 voting members, and it's you, Miss Sally, and Mr. Mark.
so what we have is, we can make a motion to approve, right? And then we can, if somebody has discussion, if somebody has anything to say about it, wants to change it or amend it, you speak up. If nobody has anything more, then we vote to approve. And
yeah,
then
I
it takes-
understand that, but I thought,
You thought they were supposed to be voting, and you were gonna call them out?
That's what I
Nope,
said.
they're not doing anything
They
wrong.
don't, they don't get to vote.
No, they're just here for
They-
support.
They can speak, but they can't
I
vote.
want to vote. I just-
They're just here for support. So we can move forward with approving the minutes, alrighty? Thank you, though, keeping them honest, I appreciate that. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do introductions. Victoria Hoffman with Solid Waste and Recycling.
Brad Woods, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Paris Island Liaison.
Sally Dennis, District 7.
Lawrence Bryan, retired.
Mike Bennett, District 3, Hilton Head.
Mark Feinberg, District 9.
Sally McLeod, Solid Waste Recycling. Pamela Cobb, Public Works.
Evan Eggleston, NCIS, I guess me, David Bartholomew, Beaufort County Council, District 2, and the new liaison to this board.
You want to come up here and sit?
If you want me to.
I won't make you, but if you would like, you're more than welcome.
Jesus Rodriguez, solid waste and recycling.
Sergeant Matt Perkins, Beaufort County Sheriff's Office.
All right, takes care of that. Any public comments? We're all on the same team here, all righty?
Easy.
On to my solid waste and recycling report. Alrighty, so I sent this out to you all. This is the newsletter that I was sending when we didn't have enough voting members. So it's just a little highlight of where we are financially as far as March goes, and then some updates from Valentina on her education and outreach efforts, and Jesus on his litter enforcement, where we are in the compost pilot program, still planning, working on securing, procuring the equipment for that. Any questions as far as that?
Yeah, I did have a question. So the total costs, those are not through March, those are through April?
March. So when I compiled this, this was for our March 27th meeting, which apologies, we had to postpone and move it to today because I was at a conference last week. But no, this is, you received the board packet a week before March 27th, so this would have been mid-March. So it's not the full Q3. It was just to date around mid-March. So you will receive a Q3 update, and that's our big package with all the wonderful numbers. Now that we've actually ended Q3 with the end of March, so our next meeting in May, we'll have those Q3 figures. All right, we did have an opportunity to present to County Council on our solid waste and recycling board, and I'd just like to run through kind of what we gave them. It was basically a solid waste update, what we've been doing for the last 6 months to a year. So I'll go ahead and give that quick presentation just so you all are up to speed, because we haven't met consistently for, I don't know, a year or two now since we've had the vacancies in the board. So go ahead to the next slide, Miss Sally. We were asked to create vision, mission, and goals last fall. And so I know that those are a lofty read. I've condensed them for you for the vision. Next button. It was just to provide Beaufort County with efficient, sustainable waste management and recycling services that protect the environment and ensure a cleaner future. And our mission, just deliver reliable waste services. We want to reduce waste, promote sustainability, and of course our community and residents. And our goal is always to increase and improve our solid waste efforts. So waste diversion, we want to enhance our operations at the centers, and of course control costs as much as we can. Next slide, thank you, ma'am. And then some recent changes that we've had. We have partnered with Recycle Coach. This is a mobile app as well as a web-based server. So you can go online to our website, or you can download this app to your phone. And it allows you to quickly and easily search items that can be recycled in our area. So this allows us to provide residents with quick feedback regarding solid waste questions. So it also alleviates on our end a lot of personnel time and attention to these questions that can simply be answered online with the click of a button. And we're working with IT and our communications team. It's okay. To provide real-time data. So we would like to be able to update our website, so the information that you receive in this board report, the quarterly reports, to have that live, well, as live as you can update a spreadsheet. But we're working on that to just provide transparency to residents. And also encourage them to continue to recycle and decrease their waste. So it'll have, once we compost, the amount of material we've composted and everybody that we've reached and the amount of materials that we're recycling and diverting, as well as how much is going to the landfill. So we're hoping that it's not only gonna provide transparency, so that's gonna alleviate questions and these suspicions about recycling and solid waste in the county, but also encourage people to boost those numbers. We have partnered with a wonderful vendor, I2 Recycling, for our recycling services, and we've been really satisfied with that vendor. Mike has really helped us just ramp up our education outreach efforts. The signs that we're putting on our roll-off containers, like we're seeing how much materials are actually being diverted, how much contamination rates that we have. So it's been really wonderful working with I2 in recycling at the centers. Also, last year we worked with our Parks and Rec department, and we used grant funds from Department of Environmental Services to purchase triple stream bins, right? 3 stream bins. It was trash, plastic, and cans. Anyway, 3 stream bins for recycling at Parks and Rec facilities. So that was DES funds, and then we're asking for additional funds so we can continue that partnership, because if you've never been to maybe Burton Wells or any other Parks and Rec facility out on the soccer fields, I have, they didn't have any recycling and just trash cans. So that was an initiative that we partnered with them, and really happy with that. We also filmed a really great educational video on recycling practices. And I think more information about Ed and Outreach is to come. So on to the next slide. And one more button. This QR code will actually take you directly to our convenience center website. There's a blue box. It helps people navigate to the decal system, which we've actually transitioned to calling solid waste passes, since we're no longer offering decals. It's actually a card similar to like a library card or a Food Lion MVP card. And this is to plan for the future. We're hoping to incorporate some sort of automated arm system to allow access into our centers, so then we can alleviate that attendant that we need for scanning decals and potentially put them in the recycling area so we can assist
Great.
residents, answer their questions, help with the sorting. Yes, sir, Mr. Bryan, I saw that you had your hand up.
Where do you get these new cards?
How do you access it, or where do we buy them?
No,
Where's the public gonna get them?
Oh, they're already getting them. So this is the decal. This is the decal program that's already been established for 4 years now. It's just a transition from the sticker to the card. So if you've already got a decal sticker, you won't be issued a card. You have a digital decal. This is for when we enacted this about 2 years ago, all new decal requests get cards.
so you, what I'm getting at, I know some people that need them, like my daughter, for
Okay.
instance. She lives on the other side of town, but she comes, well, Daddy, where's your card?
Yeah. Well, if you actually scan that QR code, it takes you directly to our webpage, and the first thing that you're going to see is a blue button, and it says apply for a solid waste pass. So that right there will give them access to that. It's the first page of our website if you do need a decal.
Yeah, so this is moving forward. everybody.
Yeah,
So we
moving
see the
forward.
card.
So right now, people, we are not replacing the stickers, but eventually that will be something that we have to retroactively do. So everybody who hasn't gotten a card yet will need a card. If it's a pilot program with the automated arm, we're gonna test out one center. If it proves to be beneficial to us and a cost savings and that we can alleviate that attendant, we'll continue it. But it's just gonna trickle and see if it
Are you-
actually is beneficial.
Are you looking at various vendors? I mean, the most common remote arms without people are barcodes for tracking and opening electronic arms, as opposed to cards or decals. You actually get a barcode sticker that goes either on your windshield and/or, depending on the make and model of the car,
Right.
your light, and it actuates the arm.
Yes.
So, have you how many vendors are you,
Well-
knowing that Mike wants more than one?
Yeah, it won't be, it will most likely, depending on the avenue we take, right now it's in the planning phase. So we have to work with our IT department because
Understand.
whichever vendor that it does choose, there's a lot of data that's associated with those cards. So, and I'm not an IT expert, but this is what they told me. Their software system that runs the decal program has to speak to the software system of the automated arm. So every time your decal is scanned, there's all kinds of information that's populated to us. So we can track who you are, how many centers you've been to, what dates, all kinds of information. And typically when you go into like a car wash, it just allows you in. You know, it says, yeah, you paid your bill, go on. So we have to find a vendor who basically can talk to the different software programs. Once we know that we can actually establish that, because that's where our speed bump is currently, then we'll move into, okay, the types of vendors, the types of automated arms that will fit the bill that we need. But yes, we always follow proper procurement policies.
Okay.
So we would most definitely, if it's 5,000 and above, you're going to start off by getting 3 quotes, and then of course as you go on, we follow the proper procurement protocol tiers.
Yeah, basic QR is not gonna cover the.
Yeah,
cover
no,
the-
it's got to.
Yeah.
It's a bit
Not
more
the amount of
software.
Not amount of data that you want to collect.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, security systems typically are at the leading edge right now of that scanning process.
I'll bet, yeah.
Now, you also said with that QR card or that process, you're gonna delete or, yeah, get away, get,
The attendant,
yeah, one attendant or 2? Why would you wanna do that?
What are you? What's your question?
You said with the QR code, you scan that and it gets better at the convenience center. You were talking about deleting one attendant?
Oh, no. No, we would not be decreasing the attendance at the centers. We would be using that attendant at other areas at the centers. So this
Well-
wouldn't be decreasing the attendance at the
Uh-huh.
centers. We would just put them, so at the centers, all the attendants, they basically on a rotation. You know, this person's gonna scan decals, this one's gonna be here to help people, this one's gonna be here to help people. So if we do go with an automated arm, we need less attendants to scan decals, and then that same attendant, we're not decreasing that position. They're just gonna move to a different role at the center. So it would
Okay.
not be decreasing positions at all. No, we need all the attendance, we need more attendance. We need attendance now, tell your friends to apply. We're definitely not going to decrease.
Okay, I heard you wrong.
Yes,
so I
yeah, no.
apologize.
That's
No,
very-
we're not doing anything to our attendants. We love them. They're the backbone of our centers.
Okay.
This would
I-
just have them be able to be stationed at like the recycling area so they can say, hey, stop. Don't put that bag in that bin. So
Dump
just
it
to,
out.
just
And
to, yeah.
That's a perfect position to
Yeah.
automate too. 'cause they just sit
Absolutely.
there and that's all they
That's
do.
right,
Yeah.
scanning, scanning.
Yep, they're just using them for different things.
And,
So we have procured new waste compactors at our centers. We're working to procure more at the Shanklin Center, and then for the next fiscal year, we'll just have one more compactor unit that we need for our St. Helena Center. I mean, these compactors were over 50 years old, and they definitely exceeded their lifetime. So we are hoping to get FY26 funds for the last remaining one at St. Helena. Are we
real
good
quick, I'm so
next?
sorry.
Yes.
You said you're gonna run a test for the arm. Which center's getting the test?
Shanklin.
Shanklin?
oh, okay, so
Sorry.
that,
Yeah, that would be the simplest one because of the type of center that it is with the track around similar to Bluffton. But that would be our first test program, just to see, is this really helping? If the arm breaks down 3 times a week and we still need someone to scan. So just to kind of tiptoe into it before we put our all. All right, Miss Sally, next one, please. So a big initiative that we have been wanting to bring to the residents is just to make accessibility easier. One of the ways that we did that was to create a pilot program for e-waste drop-off. And this also piggybacks into the state regulation that happened a couple of years ago. It passed that now it's mandated that manufacturers have that responsibility to foot the bill for e-waste recycling. So what is costing us now is our e-waste events. So anytime we hold that event in either Bluffton or at the Shanklin location, it's either $13,000 to $15,000. And that's just because we have our vendor come and host the event. So they're putting the materials in the Gaylord boxes, shipping it up, taking it out. Well, with this e-waste drop-off, we're able to opt into the clearinghouse program, and this allows us to decrease the cost of the events. So now residents will be able to go online, where they are able to now. They can go online and schedule a time to drop off their e-waste, so you don't have to wait a quarter of the year for these e-waste events. And we're provided with all of the shipping supplies to be able to ship the e-waste out. And then also the hauls are free. So we're not paying shipping, we're not paying any cost to recycle the electronics. Most of them are covered under the clearinghouse. There are a few items that we still accept that are considered e-waste that aren't covered under it, and so we would have to pay a small percentage or a small fee for those items. But we also are now going to be able to receive revenue back from the materials. So instead of it costing us over $100,000 a year, we're hoping that it's going to save us money, which we know it will, to reduce the weekend overtime fees for attendance and solid waste technicians to be there, and then also the event fees. So excited about this. If you have a computer or old cell phones, you can take them to the center, or not the center, you can go online and schedule a time to drop those off. Yes, Mr. Feinberg.
Victoria, I think it's a great thing because I was in the bank the other day and someone said, you're on this board, how can I get rid of a TV? And I sent them this attachment.
Woohoo!
Now, my question is, are you getting a lot of play?
Oh, absolutely. Ask Miss Sally. She sends the list every, we do it on Wednesdays right now because
And
the centers are closed.
That was gonna be my next question when people ask us, how available are the times for drop-off? Are there better days of the week? Are there better times of the day? Those kind of questions would be helpful to post. I think,
Okay, yeah,
somewhere.
once we do away with the e-waste events, so we've got one coming up in May, and then we have our events booked up in FY26, and that will be our last year. So we're gonna let the public know, like, events are ceasing. This is now your new way to drop off your electronics. And we do it as events because we don't want them going to the centers, because we're not recreating the wheel. So when I go to these conferences, I talk to people and I say, hey, how do you do this? What are you doing with this? And with e-waste, the biggest issue that people have is that they have to touch it so many times. And that's what we're doing with our tires right now. So we have to take them from the centers and drop them here and then haul them off. So with these drop-off locations, we've got a pickup point in Shanklin. We've got a pickup point at Bittenfield Road. So we're able to store the e-waste there. And then when we have a full truckload, they just come and collect it. So we're not having to move it and use a lot of personnel.
Are you guys, I know like last time we talked, which was several months ago, you just fired this up, and are you guys ready to promote this more? Because, yeah, I know like the town would love to promote this, you know. small
Yeah,
businesses like
absolutely.
yourself.
Since we last met, we've increased it, so we were kind of staggering it and didn't have as many Bittenfield Road locations, but now every single Wednesday, there's either a Shanklin or Bittenfield Road, and then as we increase our personnel, we'll be able to increase the days of drop-off too. But yeah, absolutely, please send people to us. The more popular it is now, the more we can justify opening more events.
Yeah, that's a win all the way around. Saves
Mhm.
money, makes it convenient, it does the right thing. I mean, that's the way those.
Absolutely,
those
because
programs
so
work.
many people would complain about, not being able to drop their TV off, like, I gotta wait 3 or 4 months. I got this TV in my garage. So now it's just, as you receive it, you can drop it off.
I just opened it, it's pretty, real self-explanatory.
Mhm.
Pick your time and come on in.
Another thing that we've done, we've streamlined our bulk waste at the Shanklin area. This has reduced congestion and making quicker visits. So instead of having the big bulky metal trash pile, we just have a bunker system. And we have partnered with a local vendor that accepts our metals, both in the Hardyville location and the Beaufort, and we're really satisfied with that new contractual agreement. We're improving the signs at the centers, and I've, with the assistance of Valentina, have introduced my multilingual and easy-to-read signs to residents. And then to come, we really want to focus with partnerships with local businesses and municipalities and just have more communication with them and then other departments within Beaufort County. Go ahead, Miss Sally. Sorry, I promise it's allergies. And I'm not a walking vector. Operational efficiency, like I already said, our new recycling vendor is I2. We're super excited and happy with those services. Valentina works with him, and they have, I think I talk about this in the next slide too, in education, but this is a picture of I2's facility. It's a manual sort line, and you can see that's them in action. So we're really happy about that. Additionally, if you have not yet seen, I'm sure you have, the beautiful orange recycle bins with Rerun on the side. We were able to procure those with ARPA funds. So now you can tell when it is a Beaufort County recycling vessel going down the road. And we're just very, very excited and happy to partner with Mike. Mike, I just feel like it's weird telling you how awesome you are, but no, we really are very happy with partnering with I2. It's been wonderful. There's so much transparency. We receive checks for our recycling revenue now, and really wonderful and detailed reports on all of our pulls and our tonnage. So very excited and happy with that. And there are some plans, I know a MRF has been discussed several times, and there are some plans to hopefully partner with our current vendor in expanding those operations. So instead of the county building a MRF, to just pour into what is already working. All right, so our educational programs I've hinted at it. We're so excited. Valentina was unable to be here today. She is working hard on Earth Day, planning that, and then also our DES grants. So she is finalizing those, but she's also been hosting her green talks at the local libraries. So a reminder, she's not only solid waste, but she's also stormwater. So she's our environmental educator. But she hosted these talks at the local libraries. They were really well attended, and we're going to be continuing those talks. She's just going to get through Earth Day, and then she'll be scheduling more. And she's been in the schools for school presentations on just a variety of different things. Like I said, she's all over in environmental, so from stormwater recycling to composting. She hosted an educational event for America's Recycles Day with our awesome vendor, I2, where they had an educational presentation at the MRF. So residents were able to go to the MRF, sort materials, and then hear from these professionals on why this is that, ask questions. And I believe some of the board members were able to attend that as well. And then, as I said, Earth Day planning, that is taking over our lives right now, so we can go on to the next slide. And I love this picture. This is Valentina in one of our local schools, and she's teaching kids about vermicomposting. That is composting, facilitating the process with worms. So it's a really engaging activity that she provides to the students and the teachers. She brings the worms, she brings them a compost bin, teaches them how to divert their food waste, and then also a lot of fun scientific activities. They've got the magnifying glasses in their hand to where they can identify parts of the worm. So it's not only hitting our educational outreach for recycling and composting, but state standards for science curriculum. On to our litter enforcement. Jesus has been doing a phenomenal job. it seems like he's been with us years. It's just been 6 months, but he has really improved the program. He's continued our partnership with Palmetto Pride. He's overseeing the Adopt a Highway program. He's increased his litter crew, and he's been working steadily with Beaufort County Sheriff's Office and DOT to just make sure the mowing cycles, that we're picking up litter prior to that. And then also with Officer Cabini, who provides a lot of support and mitigating the issues for illegal dumping and hopefully trying to find the culprits behind all of that.
I got a quick question.
Yes.
This actually came up from a town meeting, and I don't know if this is the right time to have this come up. So, Hilton Head obviously has a code enforcement, and they're in charge of litter and things like that. Litter's a big problem everywhere. They're struggling with it, but the code enforcement, similar to what Beaufort County had with their code enforcement, Hilton Head's code enforcement has no authority, right? So it's very hard for them to ticket, to do anything, to actually have any teeth. Is there a process for code enforcement? This might be a county question, sheriff's office question. Is there a process to somehow have these guys be able to ticket and forcibly ticket or do anything of that nature?
In Hilton Head?
In Hilton Head, yeah, Hilton Head employees, town employees as code enforcement.
We'll look into it for you. If you'll email me,
Okay.
I will look into it, because I know we also have code enforcement. But as far as what they're able to do, I'm not sure. I know that obviously Officer Gabini can citate people, and then Jesus, with your, you are able to
I'm able to issue just a civil citation.
civil citations.
But as far as if they have to go into arrest mode, then that's where the sheriff's office.
So civil citations, and I know that was anointed to him from county council. So I'm not sure if they would able to come here, but we can definitely look into
Yeah, I mean,
what it would take.
I'll get with you afterwards and kind of talk about, because I remember, didn't we have a problem, didn't we have that issue? Like, the code enforcement had no
That's the
authority, and
biggest
then we
issue.
finally got, that's what it was, the county
Yeah.
council was able to.
It's the biggest issue, and then from what I do know, it's just so difficult to actually pin it on somebody. Unless you see me throw
Right.
this piece of trash out the window, I can say that I hired Brad to dispose of my couch. I don't know how I got on the side of the road, so it's a bit difficult just because of the red
That
tape. But
was-
I
that
do
was
know
the
that they
problem.
are working. The state, they're changing some sort of legislation, but I think it's more along the lines of if you're an officer, it makes it easier for you to be able to write citations, correct? And you don't have to.
No, I think the legislation has to do in reference to how many litter control officers you can have.
That's right.
For a population.
So
I
not
think
really
they're
big.
more referencing like a classification for three, law enforcement officer.
Yeah,
A little bit more authority to sort of.
Yeah, and I, you know, yeah, something to that effect, yes. Yeah.
So maybe a law enforcement officer in Hilton Head dedicated to litter.
Or something to that.
Yeah, somebody
Oh,
who has the
okay.
authority to
Yeah, they need the authority to, because like you said,
pull
somebody
someone
throws
over
it
who's
out.
driving down the road.
Yeah, they can't call the sheriff's department. By the time
Yeah.
they call the sheriff's department, the guy's gone.
Exactly.
Any sheriff deputy can pull somebody over for littering.
Right.
But the environmental crimes officer is me.
Mhm.
So I'm everywhere, anywhere, at any given time.
Well, it goes back to that, the problem is that, you know, somebody throws something out the window or does something, and the code enforcement's there, but by the time, you know, unless he stops them or, you know, immediately, you know, he has to hold them until sheriff comes before anything can happen, and that's, so you just have the authority to do that.
Right, and just like the authority was saying, you know, you see it happen.
Right.
We have to
Report,
see that.
report. Oh, you have to see it, oh, okay, okay. We'll talk more about if there's any way to get them, at least even civil citations, I guess would be something they could do. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so the last point of litter enforcement is Valentina is also working with Jesus to incorporate litter education in her programs. On to the next. The USD compost pilot program update. Just a reminder, we received $273,600 from USDA to initiate a pilot program. And we are still in the planning phases. We have our consultant HDR as part of the grant request. we asked for funds to be able to have our consultant create the plan. So it's, well, I wouldn't say bulletproof, but so that we know what avenue to take to make sure that it comes to fruition and is successful. So we're continuing working with them. This month, they'll be providing our final draft of the program and the education and outreach component. We're also working to procure an in-vessel compost unit and working with, securing a vendor to assist us in that. So we can continue. I know we're running on. And then this is just a timeline update. Where we are right now is kind of in between phase 2 and 3. So after we get the plan from our consultant, we're going to start outfitting the centers, start our education and outreach, and then we're hoping to collect in November, but that is also a tentative date.
When
So
you say
just as long
collect-
as we are able to get everything in order, and the permits is going to be one of our tedious efforts. Yes, sir.
When you say collection centers November 2025, you expect to have places where people can bring their compost cans and dump them?
Yes, tentative date of November 25.
I'm sorry?
But tentative date for November 25. This is preliminary timeline. But yes, that is the goal of the program.
Okay.
We'll start with residential drop-offs at the collection centers. So part of our education and outreach efforts is Valentina's going to go out to the community, teach people about composting, and then provide a countertop compost crock. So if you're not familiar, that's just a little bin that sits on your countertop. You put your food waste in there, and then you can take it to the centers. And then from the centers, we'll transport it to the facility. So that is our first phase of the pilot program, is to introduce it at the collection centers first. And then we'll work into the schools and then the businesses, but the very first thing is going to be residential collection.
How are they going to get, I mean, I don't know the demographics, but how many residents of Beaufort County are there and how many crocks are you buying?
We're not buying them for everybody. It's going to be similar to our compost bin giveaway. When you attend the event, just an initiative to come and attend and get people interested and wanting to go, you give them free stuff. So we're just we've already procured. I don't know the exact quantity of the bins, but we did use a grant from Department of Environmental Services. So we've already procured our bins and we're ready to go. We just need to outfit the centers and of course get a vendor and the equipment procured, which we are establishing the purchase order for that now. But that is the idea of the program, is to just educate residents. And we're not reinventing the wheel. We are looking at New Hanover County and North Carolina. They have a wonderful, robust program that they do. They started with residential dwellings and they've increased into schools and businesses. They actually had to because they needed more and more material because their compost is so popular. You have to get on a waiting list to come get it. And then also Charleston County does this as well. And they have residential drop-off programs. We're basically looking at what they're doing and implementing it
How
in
they
Beaufort
rolled it
the
out.
best way. Yeah, absolutely. Because Charleston County, they were already composting, but they introduced the residential drop-off location similar to what we're doing. So you'll have to take a training to make sure you know what to do. And then the bins are also going to have locks on them so we can prevent contamination. So we're learning from them. So they started without locks. They initiated locks. They initiated the education. You have to do this to check the box to be able to do this program. And then also it provides a resource for us to have that data. So then we know how many residents are actually participating in the program, what's working, what's not working. And then also provides that avenue of communication. So everybody who has received the compost code, we can then shoot out emails. Hey, this is how great we're doing. Hey, remember, don't put this in your bin. So really excited for that.
That's really smart, because food waste is its own animal. It's kind of a weird.
Say it again?
Food waste is its own animal in the recycling world. It's
Yeah.
definitely its own beast.
Yeah.
Well, they do it in.
I never select the easy way, Mike. I don't know why.
A lot of places in North Carolina do it where they're on septic and they don't have a lot of recycling centers. So commercial enterprises like resorts, dog resorts and other places, they'll put these compost things in all of their cabins for people to compost. And on the collection bins, it says what you should not put in there. So like eggshells are good, you know, onion skins are bad.
Yeah, and that's what our compost crocks have. So we purchased the compost crocks, and then we also purchased stickers. And DES created the stickers, and that's exactly what's on them. This is what can go in your bin, this is what can't, this is what you need to do. So it's a little information pamphlet on that bin. All right, and our last slide, sorry I'm taking up so much time. Just looking towards the future, we want to increase our waste diversion. As I said, continue to track our data, but get more efficient at that, and just keep evaluating what we're doing, where we can improve. We really want to create stronger partnerships in the community, and that's from municipalities on out to local businesses, and just really hopefully create a grassroots movement in Beaufort County to move into the green zone and be more conscientious about what we're doing with our waste. And then, of course, our long-term planning. We're always looking ahead when we request these budget items, and when we're planning, we just look at where we want to be in the next 5 minutes, years from now.
I got
All right,
one
any
more
questions? I
question.
know you guys still have some stuff on your agenda to get to.
I got one more.
Yes, sir.
Now, how long is it gonna take to fix the rest of the compactors, motors, or whatever is wrong over in what's the place called? Shanklin.
Shanklin. So currently, we are in the process of procuring the compactors for the Shanklin Center. So we have already requested and gotten approval from County Council to purchase them. And right now, our requisition, which is our request to get a purchase order for those, are in the hands of the county administrator. And once he signs off on that, we'll get a purchase order and we can move forward with getting them. So within a week, we'll have a purchase order, but within a couple of months, we'll have the compactors at Shanklin. And then St. Helena, that'll be a fiscal year 2026 budget item that we have requested. So within the next couple of months, my goal is to have them procured and installed before June 30th.
That's cutting it.
I know.
The only reason I asked the question, because I've been seeing, before the orange containers came, there were about 3 of them down for a long time.
We did, and that was the reason that we moved forward with purchasing new compactors, because we were having that issue. At one time, we had several compactors go down at Bluffton, several compactors go down at Shanklin at Christmas time. And when we looked into the compactors, I was like, what is happening? We realized that they're 15 plus years old. They're so old, I can't find when they were procured, who they were procured from. That's how old they
That's
are.
really good
Like,
for
where's
the-
the paper? I
the
don't
use
know.
of those, too.
Yeah, hey, they're a good piece of equipment. They're gonna be on the auction site.
That's
If you
amazing.
want them, they really did. They did their time.
That's a testament to the maintenance.
Yeah, they did their time, but actually right now, we are leasing units at that center because the old ones were failing. So that's also gonna decrease our leasing costs because they were just breaking down. We had to get units in there. All right, that's all I have. What's next? The budget review. So this has been submitted. This was our budget request that we submitted to County Council. They have probably poked a bunch of holes in it and decreased the amount already.
Not yet.
Not yet? Oh, just kidding. Not you. Pinky and Mr. Moore. Sorry about that. Forgot you were back there. Just kidding. A word of note though, in fiscal year '26, the solid waste and recycling department, we will go from an enterprise fund back to a general fund.
Oh, that was a big statement.
Yeah, I'm surprised there were no comments.
I was reading and I was like, wait a minute, that's a
Yeah.
big, wow.
Yeah, so it will
What's the-
actually be better
Yeah,
for
why?
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will actually be better for us because we're not technically an enterprise fund.
But-
So the CFO came in, I'm not a finance girl, I'm telling you that right now, but from what I know, the CFO came in and there needs to be a change, and so we're changing.
Yeah, because the enterprise fund was established in
Mm-hmm.
order to give a little bit of autonomy, right, in the funding?
Well, that's why it's good. The negative is that you go into the general fund, next year somebody.
Well, we're not really an enterprise fund right now
Because the
because of the
council
way
could
that
say
we
we're not
receive
gonna
our
give you any
tax.
money.
So the way that we receive our funding, we're not really an enterprise fund. So that's why that name enterprise fund is gonna go away. And
Because
we're
they
now in the
broke it
general
out.
fund, because we're technically not really, like, we're not like stormwater. We
have a
don't
fee.
generate
We're
our
a fee.
revenue.
That's why ours
Exactly.
is a fee and not a tax.
Exactly. We don't have a solid waste fee. We're still getting our funding from the
The general
millage
fund.
fees, yeah.
Right.
So
So-
there, but there was, I mean, so, but the enterprise fund, you know, having a fee built into the system, if I remember correctly, I mean, it really added a little bit of autonomy, and you were able to use your funds more dynamically, right?
Yeah.
More
But there was
fluidly.
never a fee
Right, no, it
established.
never got built.
Yeah, there was never a fee established. It was never approved for us to initiate a solid waste fee.
Correct.
So,
Was it ever up for-
it's beyond my financial terms, but basically how we were getting funding for the department is a no-go, so CFO said, go back to general fund.
Wow, okay.
That's
Did it
all I
ever
know.
go?
That's
Did
why
it-
I say yes, ma'am.
Did it ever go for approval?
She scares me. Okay, so, new business. Harry, you got anything to say about it? New business, we need to appoint a chair and a co-chair. So do we have any nominations for appointing a chair?
Yes, I nominate Sally Dennis for chair.
All right, and now we go for a vote, correct? Or no, objections first, right?
First, we need a second
A second, okay. Do we have a second for Miss Sally Dennis being the,
chairperson.
That's second.
okay.
Now,
I'm looking at you like,
now you open it up for, is there any discussion?
discussion. See, this is why we need a chair.
I
A
know.
discussion now.
Now we need-
My discussion was, I'm not good at the like thing, so if you're gonna, one of you two will help me be like, hey, you're supposed to say this or do this.
Hey, you see
can
me
help you.
floundering around right now like
I'll
a
be
fish out of
glad.
That is where I'm
water.
not good, I know.
I'm
race
used to
all day
taking the
long, but
notes.
these, yeah.
I'm used to taking the notes like, next week.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I
so
might
any
need some
discussion?
Sally, I'll sit next to you and we can.
Mr. Feinberg's got us. All right, so discussion
Okay.
points?
Larry,
We'll
any-
assist
any
Miss Sally in,
I think the discussion is who's gonna be the co-chair at that point,
in the
right?
technical jargon.
First, then we vote. Are all those in favor of
Okay.
of Sally being chairman?
Okay, I need to
raise
say
your
that
hand.
now.
No, you don't get to vote.
No, I need to say what you just said.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
all
that's-
those in favor?
Yes.
Can I get a cue card? All those in favor of Miss Sally Dennis being the chairwoman? Vote
Chairperson.
aye or hands.
That's right.
Doesn't
To vote
matter.
for
It
myself.
doesn't matter. You can,
you
you
get to
vote for
vote for
yourself. I
Vote
don't
for
know.
myself.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and as you can see, we're a little bare bones in here, so if you know anybody, let them know. This is a great place to be.
Oh,
All
wow,
right,
be
so
recruiting.
we now need to appoint a co-chair. Do we have any nominations for a co-chair?
Say you, since you just offered to be my wingman.
All right.
All right.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Awesome. Do we have a discussion? Look how fast I learn.
Well, no discussion.
No
then move to
discussion.
vote.
Now we need to vote.
Do we need to say vows or
All
anything?
in favor?
Do we do? Did you bring the rings?
All in favor?
All in
Raise your
favor,
hand.
say aye. Raise your hand. I'm a visual learner.
Unanimous.
Awesome. Perfect.
Oh,
No,
I think someone has to do that now. I don't know. I've watched a little bit of court TV.
actually, speaking of that, on this topic of, membership, I did see in the previous minutes from last month, but there was talk about the responsibility of who it is to fill the chairs, the positions.
Yes.
Is that I don't wanna say this.
You
rude,
just
but
said I
is it-
need to now reach out to the,
Yes, we've
District.
discussed
Yeah,
that.
whose is that?
Well.
Yeah, we
it's
can-
It's three-pronged. It's three-pronged. One is the people on this committee, meaning the chair and the co-chair, need to go, it's really councils who has the district openings, it's their responsibility to go fill them and find people, all right? So it's three-pronged. You got the council people, you have the people here, meaning the chair and the co-chair, because they wanna fill all the vacancies, and Victoria working behind the scenes with boards and commissions saying, why are we not filling this, right? The question I have is, we have openings in District 6 and District 8. Are the districts for your solid waste the same as the districts for the people on the board? Because stormwater districts are different.
It is different.
So-
We have the solid waste districts.
So we have a solid waste district. So it says that we have a vacancy for District 6, but District 6 person is Tabernac, but not for solid waste. She's not responsible for that district.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a gray area
Well-
as far as who we can, but I did speak to county council when I gave them that presentation to let them know that we did have vacancies. So I will continue to relay that information to boards and commission. Because we are so shorthanded, I believe that there will be some wiggle room, because they have in the past allowed others to fill vacancies in districts where they didn't reside.
Well, yes, that is a fact, that right now, you do not have to live in the district you represent, right? But the person whomever the council person is, who has the vacancy, is the responsible person. So, right now, I represent District 9, but that is not Mark Lawson's district for solid waste, it's Paula Brown's.
Of course, I can,
Right, yeah.
I can overlay the two maps
Okay.
and let you know.
Well, I have no problem reaching out to the council people I know and saying, get on the stick here, go find somebody, or talking to the chairperson who used to be my liaison to council, who's now county council's chairperson.
Okay, well, I'll get you the information of the map overlays,
Yep.
so we can kind of
Yeah,
piece it together.
yes.
Okay.
Can I ask a stupid question? Just out of
There's
curiosity? Just out
never
of
a stupid
curiosity. Why is there why are the districts split like that? I know there's a purpose behind it, but,
Way before my time,
yeah, why did they do that?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
So it's good, okay, that doesn't matter.
That's a good question.
It's an answer.
It's interesting, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there was obviously a
They
very
just keep telling you that's the
reasonable-
way it is.
Right?
Right, yeah. Can we change that?
Why not? It would be a lot simpler
Can we
for
make a
me, yeah.
suggestion to say, you
Well,
know?
boards and commissions can.
Yeah.
They should be able to do that. And they ought to align all of the boards
It would make sense.
and districts.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
make sense.
with
Otherwise-
Yeah, I'm
the
right.
council
It's a
person.
good question. I've asked that question before.
You don't get an answer.
Then who's my representative?
Yeah.
Where are you?
I'm sure it was a good idea at one
You don't
time,
know.
but we'll get you that
Yeah,
information.
you'll get it. We don't have to.
All right, any other, I believe that's it after new business. Any public comment? Anybody sneak in? No public comment. All right, so our next meeting, Thursday, May 22nd, 2 p.m. at the Public Works Conference Room. Don't come here. We won't be here. We're at 120 Shanklin Road. So if you do have any questions, you can reach out to Miss Sally, and we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good job.
guys.
Look at that, under an hour.